Great to have you back on the John Fredericks Media Network and all the John Fredericks apps. Thanks for being here. As always, coming live in Washington, D.C. If you hear George Thurgood, one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, you know it's Friday. TGIF. Hey, right after the show, I'm out of here, baby. Hope things work out. I'm going to Lafayette, Louisiana. You say, why on earth are you going there on the weekend? Fear the turtle, baby. Terps baseball. Going to play the Ragin' Cajuns. They were 3-1. We're hitting the cover off the ball, and we're going to see what's happening. We need a little sweep ski. We understand that that stadium's iconic in Lafayette, and that we also understand that they draw about 6,000 people a game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We can hit. Joe's certainly going to get in this weekend. Hopefully he'll get a lot of outs, and we'll come back with a broom sweep. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lafayette, Louisiana next. Rob Crilly coming up right here. We might ask him to stay in their segment because right after him this is like Reporter Day, right? We got another reporter coming up right after that from Inside Sources. Inside Sources, secrets. I think it's a good combo, but it's good to have you with us. Now, February, you probably don't know this, is National Cancer Prevention Awareness Month. And now more than ever, we need to be asking what each of us can do to lower our chances of cancer. And if you or a loved one are battling cancer, you need to make sure that no stone is left unturned. And, you know, my doctor, Dr. Kelly Victory, she's a cancer survivor. She was a D1 athlete. And Dr. Peter McCullough, these guys know what's going on. The wellness companies and their doctors are medical professionals that we can trust. Now, the wellness company is committed to providing safe, low-cost alternatives to big pharma, from ivermectin to methylene blue to their fantastic new product Shield, which I just started taking with Ann, and so much more. The wellness company gives you the opportunity to make the promise of the Maha movement a reality for you and your family. This February, let's take control of our health. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order your Shield today. This builds your immune system and is going to be a preventative measure against cancer. And that's why I just started taking it with Ann. twc.health/Godzilla today. Promo code Godzilla is going to get you 10% off. twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. Get your Shield today and start building your immune system against cancer, because we all need lace them up and lace them tight. We got to be all in this thing together. So thank you for doing that with Shield. Again, twc.health/Godzilla. Okay, joining me now, Rob Crilly, senior correspondent for the Washington Examiner, and also the writer for Secrets. All you have to do is go to Washington Examiner. WashExaminer.com, WashExaminer.com/secrets. Sign up there. It's free. It doesn't charge anything. It goes right to your inbox. And you also got a QR code right there. You can put right in your phone. Washington Secrets, Rob Crilly. Again, WashExaminer.com/secrets. Rob, good to have you here.
Great to be back with you. How are you doing?
I know you like our new graphic for you.
It's good. It's perfect. I must just correct it. WashingtonExaminer.com is /secrets.
Why did I have that written down?
You've abbreviated yourself, but it's the whole thing.
WashingtonExaminer.com/secrets. I got to change that when I just remind me of that before I leave.
Will do.
Because I'll say that forever. Because they just look at that.
Once it's
board
on the whiteboard, that's
well,
it.
We told you that the last time.
It's the truth.
If it gets to one of my plethora of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whiteboards here right in front of me, then you know it gets done. It's the truth. If it's not on there, it's a crapshoot, right? Anyway, it's good to have you with us, Rob. We want to start with a couple things. I want to start first with Caroline Levitt going on maternity leave as she's having another baby, and who's her, like, is there a stand-in, like, who's going to take her place?
This has been the big question. I think everyone's having a little bit of a flutter. I think there are some kind of bets on the side. Who is it going to be? There have been some big names from other departments suggested as potential stand-ins. Anyway, I got the juice last week. There is not going to be one stand-in. There won't be a replacement press secretary. After all, how could you replace Caroline?
That's
one of the top performers. So they are going super heavyweight when she takes maternity leave, which is going to come, I think early May or late April, roundabout then, they're going to have a shifting cast of characters. We're going to see J.D. Vance, the vice president, stepping up to deliver messages. Marco Rubio, another one of the top performers. Expect other cabinet secretaries, other officials. Stephen Miller is one of the names. So there won't be one single person. And I must caution people not to read this as any sort of 2028 audition. Rubio, every time you mention those names in the same sentence, everyone is like, is this it? Is this the SmackDown? Is this the contest? I was told very categorically that is not what is happening. There's going to be a whole bunch of different names, but I think you can tell by the weight of those big hitters that it's a super important job. Very hard for any one person to stand in for her.
I love the idea of having different people do it. It's I think that's just better. It's a better format, more interesting. I hope that the majority of the time it's Stephen Miller, because that is like too much fun.
Well,
right?
when he takes questions, you've got to make sure you come with a smart question and be ready for a little bit of punchback.
I know that's why he's always fun when he's up there, because he goes right in your face. He doesn't care. So he'd be good. But, I also personally, I want to see some of the deputies get an opportunity. I want to see Anna Kelly get a shot
Right, yeah.
for a day. I want
Yeah.
to see, I want to see Kush get a shot. I like to see Taylor get a shot. Budovich. Just give people a different opportunity to do it.
It's a strong team, and I think in particular Anna Kelly performs very well in front of the cameras.
Yeah, she'd be
and I think
great.
we'd be seeing some of her without
Yes.
a doubt. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
strong team.
Yeah, and look, you got to start auditioning people in the event that there's a shift there, or Caroline decides to leave. I don't think she is, because she is the best without a doubt. Speaking of Rubio and Vance going up there, Chris LaCivita, who is running the Vance operation, I've heard this, is just very, very concerned about the more exposure for Rubio than for his guy.
Yeah.
So he's always muscling this thing so that Vance gets more airtime. But I don't think that helps. I don't think that helps Vance. I think when Vance is up there by himself, he's fine. When you got to juxtapose him to Rubio, I think that puts him at a huge disadvantage.
Well, this was some of my reporting a couple of weeks ago, which is that Rubio is supremely popular within the administration. People enjoy his sense of humor, and the key, I think, for me, is that he's had an extra decade in the game. Let's not forget, J.D. Vance hasn't been around a long time. Elected to the Senate, 4 years ago? So that's not a lot of political seasoning. That he's been a good performer for this administration on Fox News, but it's not a long time to develop your political skills, your debating skills. Now, J.D. Vance is a very good performer. Let's not get around it. But you cannot get away from the fact that Marco Rubio ran for president, where are we,
2016.
10 years ago. And he's got
Came
all
in
of that.
third in Iowa. A close third.
He's got all of that experience. He is politically seasoned, which gives him a head start over J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance still very much the guy, very much looking like he's going to be the 2028 guy. I fully expect a deal to be done and him and Marco Rubio to be running together. They are clearly very good friends, very close political allies. But, this is news to me. I didn't know about Chris LaCivita already being on board. But do you remember a few weeks ago, Marco Rubio was front and center with all the Venezuela stuff in his role as National Security Advisor and as Secretary of State. And then suddenly we had J.D. Vance appear in the briefing room to discuss the rather thorny issue of the shootings in Minnesota. And that really felt to me like somebody somewhere was pulling a string, saying, we need to get our guy.
That was total LaCivita operation. The one thing LaCivita's got to worry about here, and I'm going to be candid, because I love Chris to death. We've been friends for 2 decades. Good friends, been his home and all that. Great guy. But one thing he's got to be careful for, last time with Trump, he was the bully. Mm-hmm. He was a bully. Now, if you were on the team like I was, I loved it, because he was bullying our enemies. So I was for that. And I love to see him bully. And of course, I was part of the protected class because I've been there from the beginning. So when you're on the inside and you got the bully out there, it's great. He can't do that again because it will. I'm telling you, it will backfire. It
Yeah.
will back, especially when you're not fighting Nikki Haley, you're not fighting one of these whacks. You're looking at a Rubio or some of these other people. You try the same bullying tactic with a much younger candidate without the experience, it's got the potential to backfire. So he might have to change the way he goes about this.
It will be.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a different candidate. You have to run a different playbook. And of course, let's not forget that Donald Trump is a once in a generation politician. Anything you do with him, I think, when you apply those sort of tough tactics, they work with the president. He has such appeal, such popular appeal that goes beyond politics when you think about The Apprentice and the way he was in everybody's living rooms every day for years. I think a JD Vance is a very different proposition. You run a different campaign. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean he's going to have to do that, but it's going to be tougher. It's just going to be a little bit tougher, and the problem is the difference in stature between Rubio and Vance is dramatic, and you can't get around that. And you mentioned it. I mean, Secretary of State, all that he's done, ran for president. Was remember this guy started in Florida. He was a House member, then he was Speaker of the House. I mean, he was senator. He's made his mistakes, Gang of Eight, and all that nonsense. So the guy's been around the block. But there's a certain demeanor there. Like I went in the lower press a couple weeks ago, and he just happened to be there, and he was talking to Caroline, and he didn't see me come up behind him, so I was just there, and he was like they were talking about something was clearly off the record, not for public. I just happened to get in, and one of the people in the lower press said, "Hey, Fredericks is here." So Rubio looked over and he said, "This is how savvy he is." He's like, "John Fredericks can come anytime he wants. We don't have to worry about him. He's never leaked anything in 20 years," and he just kept talking. See, Vance would have never done that. So what does that do, right? He knows how to ingratiate himself with his supporters. Speaking of that, don't forget to complete our poll. We have the number one and only 2028 Iowa straw poll for president. Just go to johnfredericksradio.com. johnfredericksradio.com. It's right up there in the right-hand corner. It says straw poll. Do that. You want to participate in it. We're trying to we have some interesting results, 11 candidates on it. You'll rank them in order. And when we get to 10,000, we're going to release some of the preliminary results. I can tell you right now, they're kind of fascinating, but you've got to weigh in on that. You've got to be part of it. Just go to johnfredericksradio.com and participate in that poll right there. Okay. Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
You wrote a story on him playing golf, chumming up the president, goes to the Oval Office. The last time I was there, he's chomping it. But meantime, he won't get rid of the filibuster, but Trump's backing the guy. Explain this dynamic.
Well, I mean, there's something about Lindsey Graham where he has a pass to act independently from the president. There aren't many people who can get away with behaving like Lindsey Graham does, and Trump still likes him. Now, one of the things is he plays golf with him. So 2 weeks ago, they put the photograph out. They played a round of golf at the West Palm Beach International Golf Club. Now, whether or not the filibuster came up, I don't know. What I do know came up, surprise, surprise, Iran. So he's pushing the president to act decisively on Iran. And we know that's the argument he's going to make. The key point he was telling the president is that you have a generational opportunity to rebuild the Middle East. Now, what he's getting at there, I think, and I think it's something the president is clearly thinking about at this stage in his second term, legacy. Like, you can build the triumphal arches, you can build a ballroom, you can put your name on the Kennedy Center, but Lindsey Graham was telling him you have an opportunity to rebuild the Middle East. The argument was that in 47 years, the Islamic Republic has not looked weaker. You have protests, you have all their defenses softened up by the bombing last year, the 12-year war with Israel, 12-day war, with Israel. They have given away some of their missile responses. So Israel has had a good look at their missile defenses and their retaliation. Israel's had an opportunity to restock its Iron Dome. It's even got lasers now to shoot down drones. Those are up and running. So the message really was that the US is at peak strength, Israel is back at peak strength, Iran, we've seen the student protests, now is the time to act. And then a few days after that, we saw the world's biggest aircraft carrier being moved into position. And Trump yesterday said, gave what, another 2 week deadline. And it looks as if there could be a couple of phases to this. There could be a sort of opening salvo in order to push Iran to the negotiating table to get the deal done. But what Lindsey Graham was pushing for was absolutely regime change. This is the moment to do it. And he also, by the way, was giving a message to senators a little differently. Obviously, the America First voices are very loud. Your old friend Steve Bannon very much against any sort of foreign intervention. Lindsey Graham's position was actually this plays well with the voters. A real demonstration of American strength will be a good message to go into the midterms with. Now, people are going to disagree with him.
I agree with him on that.
Okay, there we go.
Megan, I agree with him, and I think taking these Ayatollahs out right now and they're weak. That is the essence of America First. Somebody decided that America First means we stick our head in the sand and don't do anything across the globe when it's in our best interest. And I don't think that's really what the essence of it is. So I happen to agree with Graham on that, like getting rid of the Ayatollahs, and I don't care what form of government that the citizens install is better than the one they got that is killing Americans.
The trick will be, if you do look to regime changes, not to own what comes next.
Exactly.
Venezuela, in, out, the administration did a deal with some of the key lieutenants to put them in place to keep it tidy. I think the situation will be very different with Iran. But again, the key is this shouldn't become an American problem like Afghanistan, Iraq did.
Right.
Go in, get it done,
get them out,
and
then let the people figure it out.
That's it.
Right, and I think you're going to be better off here on the John Fredericks Media Network, live in Washington, D.C., trucking the truth across America. Great to have you with us. We're with Rob Crilly, and he runs the secrets column for the Washington Examiner. Now, it's free. You want to get it right to your inbox because it's cool. And like me, all this stuff is free. That's why we get along. We're like Bernie Sanders on steroids. WashingtonExaminer.com/secrets. Go there. WashingtonExaminer.com/secrets. Just sign up. You get it right in your inbox, or you can just read it there. But I like getting it in my inbox because then I don't have to go scouring around for it. Just pops up. And there it is with Rob Crilly's cartoon picture, which is pretty cool in and of itself. So, Rob, and don't forget to go to my poll, JohnFredericksRadio.com, JohnFredericksRadio.com. Participate in that poll. You too. In fact, you need to put that on WatchingExaminer.com.
Well, I would like to. When are we going to get the results from that?
When we get to, I got to get to 10,000.
Okay, where are you now?
8.
Wow. Okay, there's going to be important results. I want to see this because we're here in our DC bubble, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the names we think about, but I want to see the results of your straw poll.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you take it and you rank the candidates. So it's fascinating to see the ranking. Is like some people got first place votes and then they didn't get any second place votes, which means they're not electable.
Yep.
So it's just it's a fascinating thing. So just go there and check it out. So Rob, we got changes at the Department of Homeland Security, DHS.
Yeah.
Tricia McLaughlin, the spokesperson. Now she was a spokesperson for Vivek Ramaswamy during the campaign. I had a good relationship with her. Then she goes to DHS. Haven't had her on. That's kind of different level. But she's out. And but I tell you, really, what bothered me, and I just you can get the whole thing. The deal they made with the advertising for $230 million. They had a no bid contract that went to her husband, Ted Yoho. They opened up a brand new firm, an LLC, like 3 days before they got the contract in Delaware. And if anybody understands how this business works, I don't know what they're charging, but average firm places ads, they're going to get 15%. So you get 15% of $230 million. That's $35 million, if indeed they were getting that. and there was no bid. I'm sure other companies would have bid that down, and maybe they're only getting 5% or 3. I don't know, but it was a no bid deal. Didn't feel good to anybody. And then they get the commission on placing the digital TV and other ads that they do. It just stunk to high heaven.
It's not a good look, is it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were talking earlier about Caroline Levitt and a stand-in. Well, Trisha McLaughlin was one of the names. Actually, if they had done a sort of like-for-like replacement, the feeling was she'd been a great performer at DHS, very punchy appearances on television. One of the names that was becoming better known, that she might have been the stand-in. Instead, this week, we're talking about her departure, and the story is this was long planned. She put in motion in December her departure, but she stayed around because of all the trouble in Minnesota. Kristi Noem needed one of her most loyal spokespeople. The story is she stayed around, and then what day was it? Wednesday. News comes out that she's leaving. I actually got hold of Trisha on the phone, and she told me she's not leaving the fight. Expect to see her around. It's going to look different, but she's not leaving the fight. Now, I know she has looked at congressional races in the past. I understand there's nothing this cycle. It's probably too late, isn't it, broadly? But she's going to come back. Now, this business with her husband, though, does cast a shadow over the whole thing.
I would vote for her.
Right.
Just no way.
I
mean, you say, okay, I'm going to leave. Well, you
Yeah.
got your 30 million.
it does cast a shadow.
It's just the whole thing stunk.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to call this out. It was a no bid contract with an advertising agency that they set up 3 days before they got it in Delaware. I mean, this thing, I'm not saying they did anything illegal. It's just that's not my thing. It just, like you said, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look, and this obviously was an administration that came in to get rid of all this kind of thing.
It's inside baseball swamp.
Voters are sick and tired of strategists and consultants paying money from one campaign to a company that it just so happens is run by their spouse or whatever it might be. This is the kind of stuff that's gone on in DC too long, and it's still happening. And look, it's been a terrible couple of months for DHS, for Kristi Noem. A lot more chatter that she's on her way out, that she's looking at a Senate run. All has been denied. But, this week, what else have you got? They're buying a luxury jet. They're paying $70 million. They want to pay $70 million for a luxury jet that is supposed to be used for deportation flights. Have you seen those pictures? The leather seats. Looks very comfortable indeed.
The private cabin.
Very nice. I mean,
not cool.
They claim to be putting seats in the back somewhere for the people being deported, but not a good look. And then you have the continuing fallout from what happened in Minnesota.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Corey there. Corey's one of my best friends in the world. I haven't talked to him about this, but I mean, Corey's savvy.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? You got enough problems
Yeah.
between the two of you, and whatever rumors are out there. I'm not going to get in between people's personal thing because you never know what goes on in marriages. So I'm like checked out of that years ago. You never know. So I'm not. I have no judgment. But again, I mean, you get a no bid contract for $230 million. Then you get a private jet for $17 million with leather seats. You're flying around. It's just not a good look, man.
Yeah. And as you say, Corey Lewandowski should be smart enough to.
He's been around the block, man. He knows this stuff.
It's mystifying, and it's only a few weeks since everybody was certain Kristi
Ubers.
Noem
You know what it is? Ubers.
Ubers.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's just over I'm not going to call
Right.
it arrogance, but hubris, just hubris.
Yeah.
Overconfident.
And they'd ridden out the storm of Minnesota, right? Kristi Noem was
totally.
supposedly on her way out there.
No, she ain't going anywhere.
The ship has been steadied. Yeah, my administration sources were telling me she was safe. And now you've just had another week of terrible headlines.